Hello, my friends. As the song says, the news is bad no matter where it comes from. Actually, maybe I'll start with today's news, which is that Macron got slapped, really got humiliated badly in Rome. So, what happened? So, he went to the Pope's funeral. Unless you've been living under a rock lately, the Pope died and there was his funeral today. With Trump, with a gathering of people from all over the world, crowned heads, all that. And what we know about Macron or the Macrons in general is that there is an almost pathological tendency to put themselves forward. It always means wanting the event to revolve around me. He's someone, you invite him, he's that kind of person, you invite him to a wedding and in the end, he becomes the star. His wife is better dressed than the bride and he's there drawing all the attention to himself, all that. You end up just being a kind of almost unwanted guest at your own wedding. So they have this tendency, they really do. And it's extremely damaging to the image of France, by the way. Look, the first thing that British media and other outlets pointed out was that normally there was a protocol requiring women to wear a little black hat or some kind of small accessory like that. It's kind of the universal sign of widowhood, actually. Macron's wife, quite strangely, I know what people are going to say. I don't want to go there, right? I don't want to go there. But she was the only one who wasn't wearing anything on her head, so there was no head covering. So that was noted. There were a lot of media outlets that asked why a woman wouldn't wear a head covering. There was a violation of protocol and all that, even if maybe there are other explanations that go beyond, the scope of this channel. Another thing is that on the sidelines of this funeral, Trump wanted to talk to Zelensky. Zelensky and Trump met, and so they wanted to talk. So Trump started a conversation with Zelensky and he asked for the big room. He asked for 2 chairs to be set up there so they could talk. Macron, what he does is, Macron, even during this conversation where his men were standing, he has this possessive habit of putting his hand on people. He once even put it on the Pope while he was alive. There's this wandering hand, so he puts his hand on Zelensky like, that's my buddy, we're together. You see, him and me, we're like this, we're inseparable. If you talk to him, Trump, relax. If you talk to him, I'm here, don't mess with my friend. So he has this attitude, this fake dominant attitude, you see, always trying to draw attention to himself with these really inappropriate displays of familiarity, actually. And at one point, what happened is that he asked for 3 chairs to be set up. While 2 chairs were being set up, one for Trump, one for Zelensky, he asked for a 3rd chair to be set up. And he was turned away. That means the 3 chairs were set up, and in the end, the chair was removed. And the conversation took place between Trump and Zelensky only, with Macron kept completely out, so it was a humiliation for him. Now, I understand why Trump kept him away, because there's a problem with Macron. I told you, he always wants to be center stage. So what he would have done if he had been allowed to take part in this improvised mini summit, he probably would have made gestures. He would have put his hands on both men. He would have posed for the Elysee and media photographers, knowing the media were present with telephoto lenses and all. And he always wants to come out on top. He always wants to come out as the boss, By the way, there have even been some pretty horrible stories about him that have come out in the British media, where he puts on perfume, he wears fragrance, you can smell him before you even see him. And then what he also does, he has a box with glasses, very ridiculous ones that he gives to people. He says, go ahead, put these on. And actually, he likes to belittle people. He likes to make people feel small. And what he wants is that he gives glasses to those who are sad. I would never... Look, there are plenty of people. There are French people who don't like Mitterrand, for example. Mitterrand, you can criticize him for his record. You can criticize him for a lot of things. But aside from that, he embodied the presidency, the role of president, with a grace, with an elegance that has never been matched since. In fact, at that time, France was respected. France's voice carried weight on the international stage. Mitterrand would never have put himself in such a situation. Even Chirac for that matter, even Chirac, who internationally we've seen in extraordinary situations always behaved with dignity, grace and diplomacy. He knew how delicately to assert, or rather without imposing, to make France's voice heard. And he embodied it. He knew what he was embodying. And also, whether it was Chirac or Mitterrand, these were people who had a sense of history with a capital H. They knew that the moment unfolding wasn't about themselves, it wasn't a photo opportunity. That is to say, a meeting between Trump and Zelensky is an opportunity. Not for a photo on the cover of Paris Match. It's an opportunity to discuss, to try to reach agreements, to move peace plans forward, to try to make sure that people, young people, are not dying. You need to understand that many Ukrainians are being killed. Huge numbers of Ukrainians are being massacred. Russians are being killed as well. And then, of course, when it's over, there will be 5 women for every man. And then they'll be told your birth rate is collapsing. Maybe you'll have to bring in migrants like was done elsewhere. You see, it's a pretty vile plan. And if Macron had been able to intervene in this, he would have just been there to disrupt, block, pose, take stances, and in the end, what? In the end, the two men wouldn't have been able to talk seriously, wouldn't have been able to talk with this guy who's just there to draw the camera to himself. That's it. Anyway, my friends, it doesn't stop. France, honestly, a decade of Macron, I don't know if he'll find a way to run for a 3rd term or not. It's not important. The key thing is he lasted 10 years in France. And France, the one he will have taken over, the one that already now there's 1,000 billion more, 1,043 billion more added to the French debt. Where did they go? Have you seen them honestly? Have you seen the result in your life? Have you seen any public services? Have you seen any improvement? Have you seen that we spent 1,043 billion? 105 billion went into letting you swim in the Seine. You can't always swim in the Seine. So 1,043 billion was burned. The others too, actually. All the others. I'm telling you, the story about the Seine is just a way to give an image. The rest of the money was also squandered. Unfortunately, it's a classic. If we look closely now, if we start to zoom out again, what do we see? A general impoverishment, an erosion of the purchasing power of the middle class. Meanwhile, the state grows poorer and deeper in debt. Who is getting richer and where is the money going? I mean, is the state poor? The country is poor, the people are poor. We ask ourselves what's going on. It's actually pillage that's being taken elsewhere. It's like France today is on the losing end of globalization. A decision was made at some point for the country to end up on the losing end of the globalized order. That's it. I'll tell you more about it another time with more details. Anyway, thank you for watching this video this far. My book, Les Grandes Trahisons, is available on Amazon, and sometimes it shoots up to become a bestseller. Thank you for your trust, and I'll see you in the next video.